They're calling this the golden age of television. Is that because of the TV show Brewed? I don't know, probably. Behind me you see video games from the golden age of the arcade. Is this the golden age of craft beer? And is there a place where the golden age of video games and the golden age of craft beer come together? There is a place, and we're here on this installment of Brewed. Well, we're here at Quarter Barrel Arcade Brewery, a little bit of both, right?
Yeah, a lot of both.
It's equal parts both. Quarter Barrel in Cedar Rapids, old school video games meeting craft beer, which is made right here on premises. Chris, you're the owner, and you have a lot to do with the making of the beer, right?
Yeah.
Brewmaster, you feel comfortable with that title?
I'll
brewer?
I'll take it, brewer.
What do you go with?
Head brewer.
I was going to ask, what are you into? But it's pretty evident. I know at least two of your hobbies just from walking in the door here.
Yeah.
Tell me about the idea of the Quarter Barrel Arcade.
It's a long story that I've been trying to make short for a long time.
We've only got like a half an hour.
I'm horrible at making short, but
right on.
But I've been in the brewing industry for a while. But before I even got into the beer industry, my wife and I had this idea of an arcade bar, because we used to go to this really cool hole-in-the-wall just arcade in Chicago on our way to meeting our friends for drinks. And we're like, wouldn't it be nice if it was one place we could just meet our friends at a place that was an arcade bar? And this was like 10 years ago. And then a few years later, I went to visit my sister in Brooklyn, New York, and she took us to this place called Barcade. And I was like, well, that's a concept.
Right on.
That's our idea right there. So fast forward a number of years, I've been working at a few other breweries. I worked at Goose Island in Chicago, Millstream in the Amanas. And we're like, well, why don't we do this now? And we did it, and here we are.
And the genius, Chris, of this concept is all of the games that you have here, if you're old enough to remember these games, you are old enough to drink beer.
This is true.
Right? I mean, you don't even have to card people. Just ask them, what's your high score on a Galaga? And if they have an answer, and clearly they're old enough to drink beer.
I like that idea. I don't know if the Iowa Alcoholic Beverages Division would back me up on that.
You
but
probably
I like
should
it.
be a little tougher. Yeah, no, it's a good call. This is a place where you can bring kids, because a lot of arcades, families are not welcome. They have a kind of a 21 and over policy. But I've been here when the place is packed full of families and kids having a lot of fun on Donkey Kong Jr. and Ms. Pac-Man.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the guys my age that like craft beer and like classic arcade games, like myself, have kids. So we wanted our kids to be welcome here, and other kids as well.
That goes hand in hand. So let's talk about the beer that you make right here on site.
Yeah.
How many different styles of beer do you have here at Quarter Barrel?
Well, right now we have 10 on tap. I think all told we've had 13 styles on so far.
Let's talk about the beer that you make here. What are you drinking there? What is that?
This is my porter called Quick Cricket.
Quick Cricket.
Yeah.
Explain that name.
The name, I'd originally called it Three Threads, because there's some lore about the original porter. And then I looked up on Untappd and realized there were like 13 other breweries that have porters called Three Threads, and that's out the window. And I'd always liked the name Quick Cricket, which is like a shortened version of the game cricket. So I decided, well, it's an English style beer. I like the sound of the name, rolls off the tongue, I'm going to call it that. And it wasn't until after I changed the name that I realized Quick Cricket is essentially like a Little League, the Little League version of cricket. But
so you named your beer after a Little League version of. Okay.
Yes,
that works.
But I don't want to change it again.
No, it's been through enough changes. Let me ask you this: as far as the different styles of beer here, do you have any pairings that you suggest? Is there a beer that goes well with a Ms. Pac-Man? Is there a Donkey Kong Jr. beer that you would recommend?
Ooh, I have not given enough thought to game and beer pairings. Probably should, but yeah, no, I could make something up off the cuff, but I
have given it some thought. May I?
Yeah.
Your Dunkel and Nintendo's 1982 classic Popeye. It's a match made in heaven. That is dynamite stuff.
Thank you.
Talk to me about the Dunkel. What's going on here?
For years before this place opened, my wife and I would have an Oktoberfest party. So this is sort of the offshoot of the beer that I'd brew for the Oktoberfest party, which year by year, it kept getting like deeper in color and depth of flavor. And so now that this place is open, I was like, I could make that my Oktoberfest beer, or I could just make it a year round and make a different Oktoberfest beer. And I'm happy that I did the latter, because I mean, this is too dark for an Oktoberfest, but I think it's a fine dunkel.
How many different games are here?
I think we have close to 30 video arcade games and 8 pinball right now.
So it's all old school, nothing super new. These are all games that have wonderful histories behind them.
Yeah, I think right now games range from like 1978 to mid to late 90s. Originally we wanted to do just like the golden age, but then we realized actually after opening, like it's a bar, it's a social environment. Like a ton of single player games are great, but we need to bring in some of the 4-player games. That's when we started getting.
Well, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is here, and that if you can't have fun drinking a craft beer while playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, frankly, I don't know what your problem is. Let me ask you this: I have noticed 2 omissions. Tapper isn't here, and Taito's Ice Cold Beer also not here. Are those? Am I bringing up a sore subject?
Oh, they're on my wish list.
Okay, all right. So maybe someday.
Yeah,
Are there any other straight games that are just about drinking beer? I know in Zookeeper you can get beer on like the first level.
Okay.
Do you remember Zookeeper?
I remember the game.
Yeah. When he gets the animals in the back in the zoo, they give him a beer, and you get different points for that. When we play it at home, I tell my kid it's root beer, but it ain't root beer. There it is. It's Quarter Barrel. It's an arcade with classic arcades and a craft brewery with some of the most delicious beer, not only in Eastern Iowa, in the state, in the country, in the world, I'll go ahead and say. If they come and they have just one beer, what would you say? What's your signature beer here at Quarter Barrel?
It happens to be the one that just blew, so we're out of it for the next couple weeks. But the one that when we're doing festivals and whatnot, that people will always come up to us and say, "It's my favorite beer ever. Do you have it? Do you have it here today?" It's Recon, which is a Belgian golden strong Belgian pale, dry hopped with a lot of Czech sauce and a little touch of Chinook just to give it a touch of something extra. But it tends to be a lot of people's favorite. It's
so that's
been
the
our
one
best seller by far.
That's the one you guys should ask for when you're here. They don't have it for us, but that's the way it goes. Chris, thanks for having us here at Quarter Barrel. Just a lot of fun and just beer that is too good to believe. Check it out. Coming up on Brewed, a little hide and seek. The new tap room for a place that's never been easy to find.